Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. You're watching Islamic Action TV, Guerrilla Mining Productions. Myself, Bilal Ali Hugh. We're in Brixton, outside the Black Archives. And we're here to break down a few things about this town that we know as Brixton. This is like a template. So, gentrification has taken place over the last, say, 10 years in a number of spots, but this is one of the first spots in recent or modern times. You could say that the social engineers, those architects worked I gotta say, a wickedly wise plan. It was wicked, but it was wise. I remember there was a time back in the noughties where you used to see a sign, a big sign that used to say that we're back in Brixton, and you thought it meant back in, as in we're giving Brixton our back in. But you didn't know there was a subliminal message, meaning that white people left after the riots. There was a what they call white flight, but it meant that they were coming back into Brixton en masse. So it meant that we are back in Brixton. That's why I say to anybody who's serious about critical thinking, about analysis, you have to study the etymon, because the etymon is where you get the word etymology, and you study the roots of words and how sentences and how grammar and the grimoire, the book of spells, and you learn how to spell words and put spells on people. And, you know, if you tell a man that, you know, I'm going to be here at a certain time, based on those words, you can influence his behavior, and he'll wait for you because he believes you're going to be this. You can't tell me that words and symbols don't have power. If words and symbols didn't have power, why in the middle of the night when there's a red traffic light, you see somebody there's not a soul, not rat, not cat, not dog, not puss out our door, but still a man will be waiting at a red light because the symbol of power. You understand what I'm trying to say to you? So that's just what we're talking about. But more than that, something's been on my mind. We went there recently, Grenfell Towers, but I couldn't even speak, I couldn't even open up, because if you knew how the spirit, how the vibration, you could feel the presence of the dead souls in that area. It was so oppressive, we couldn't even really articulate. You know what I'm saying? It took time to go home and actually process what had taken place. The feeling of death, smelling the smoke, and being up close to that horrific idol, that horrific, you know what, it came to me like in a vision, in a little meditation, that it reminded me of the killing of care. You know, there's this ritual that they deal with in America every so often. These secret society boys, they meet up, they have a symbolic killing of the Moloch or burning the owl. But then I said, wait, this country comes out of not the Christian tradition, but pre-Christian. It deals with like the Wicca religion. I started looking at that
Jewish,
and I said to myself,
paganism.
I'm saying, wait there, that looked like a bit of a ritual. And I'm adding up and I'm saying, loose gas pipe on the outside. Okay, only that building was the one with the cladding. That's the one that went up. Okay, then there's paperwork coming out saying that they were gonna that building's been marked for demolition. So it sounds like I'm bringing it back now to gentrification again. Yeah, I'm not just getting spooky. I'm not gonna just spook you out with a ritual thing, but I'm saying the gentrification, because the money, you know what I mean, moves, but there's a spirituality. You know what I'm saying? The Bible says that we don't just war against flesh and blood, but we war against principalities and spiritual wickedness in high places. You know,
say that again. Didn't hear you.
I don't think they heard that.
No, didn't hear you.
We don't war against flesh and blood, but we war against principalities and spiritual wickedness in high places.
Say it again for the people at the back of the pew.
The high places, spiritual wickedness. Just that is the takeaway word: spiritual wickedness. So we're told a number of things in this country. We have a free, an open, and a democratic press. Oh, we're not like Iran. Oh, we're not like China. Oh, we're not like state-sponsored or state-controlled TV, North Korea or Russia. But somehow BBC, the British Broadcasting Company, can't really, between them as news analysts, they can't really even give you a decent estimate of how much people were eliminated in that building. They start telling you stuff like, there are still 72 people missing. But I want to know about, where are the victims or the survivors? Where are they? Because usually, in fact, 9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10, when there has been a disaster, be that fire, be that flood, but it deals with a mass of people, usually, what do we go to? We go to the hall, because where are the people encamped? You know, you got 200 survivors or 300 survivors, or a number of people, anything over 50, they're going to go to one spot, right? You're going to see the army camp beds come out, right? You're going to see the volunteer soldiers come out, right, setting up sleeping bags for the little children and for the mothers and things of this nature. And then over a period of days, you see them getting ferried out. The numbers get smaller. As the news reporters come every day, the numbers get smaller, right? The numbers get smaller because people are now found individual homes. You try to tell me that are they trying to infer that there was 200 or 300 people that survived from that place, but they all found them the next day, they all found them individual bed sits and hotel rooms that quickly? Come on, man. I smell bacon, homie. Something's going on. and then something's going, and the media is in cahoots, at least in the suppression of the information, at least in the suppression of truth, and telling you things like, we still think there's 72 people missing, but we just can't seem to. I mean, we went to the place. We saw that the place was charred, brother. You know that.
That's right.
The building was charred. Are you gonna find anybody in there? We saw the black fireman standing outside the church, just gazing into the book of condolences and the flowers and the remembrances and the prayers that were there. He looked shell shocked. That man looked like he came out of that building looking for whatever.
He came from World War II, from that cenotaph.
Right.
And that was a war.
He saw something that that's never gonna leave him for the rest of his days. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? So I'm going to bring it back full circle and say to you that I think I smell a rat, I smell bacon, homie. That was a human sacrifice of some sort, form or fashion that just brought me back to the Wicca religion, that just brought me back to the killing of care. If you think about it, the people the predominant people in that building were Muslim, or they were brown people, or they were people, or they were poor working class white people. And those are in this society. Come on, let's just call a spade.
Eugenics, bro. Speak on the eugenics, bro.
In racism,
speak on the Nazis and the Hitlers, what they used to do with them, man.
Racism, white supremacy. Right?
Darwinism, brother. Speak on that.
If you're going to mention that, yeah, was that Inferno? Yeah, was that not a Holocaust?
The film called The Towering Inferno too.
Was that not a Holocaust of sort?
All right.
Exterminated, terminated. So don't be surprised if you see things like this in a different shape and a different form happening in this land that we know as the UK, the United Kingdom, because I say that Britain is between Britain and the United Kingdom, we're talking about two different phenomena. You know, but
even the city of London is different from England.
I don't know if you want to holler at me before I close out, brother, just with some of the analysis that we were chopping up earlier on, or you think this is too much and we got to drop a part 2 on them?
Brother. This, as you said, unless you go to that,
you have to go
to the
there,
hallowed
ground.
That is to that site. Your eyes, seriously. You can smell the burning, the cordite, the smell of the burning in the air, the charred buildings, you know, from the smell from the metal. To know people was evacuated in that building, completely melted down, bruv. You see it standing there like some twisted Kaaba or some twisted artistic installation.
Gothic.
It's Gothic, death art. Like like Moloch, a big carving of Moloch, or you see like the Wicker Man, like some druidic, I said witchcraft, like Baal, worship to Baal. You know what I mean? And as you said, the fact that they've got, speak on that, brother. Speak on the fact that the fire hoses couldn't even reach the thing. The police weren't getting involved.
There's too much
the crowd was held back for no reason.
Too many questions to be asked. How long did it take the firemen to get there to actually start getting busy and doing what they're doing? Why were the police there first and holding people back? Now, we're not saying that the police at every level is malevolent.
We know they're Masons though, bro. Right?
No, but we're saying, but there's different types of police on different levels, yeah? And we know there's firemen. They sacrifice their lives, they risk their safety to keep the public safe. They're committed.
That's right.
Right? It's the same with the firemen. But how come the firemen took so long to get there and the police were holding people back? The sister on the video said she filmed it on her iPhone, and her iPhone ain't lying. That the police were in place and holding people back from early on until it was an inferno. But what? The man on the ground, the firemen on the ground, maybe the one in the next chain of command, they're following orders. So when sometimes you get an order as an underground family saying, we gotta wait, and they say, hey, it came from higher up, just wait, or police are told, hey, it came from higher up, stop the crowd. But why? That don't make sense. No, it came from higher up.
That put me in mind at a time when the so-called 2012 riots broke out, and in Brixton they were told to step down and let the man just run a rampage and burn everything down. And people were saying the police would just stand there, let them do it.
Right.
To this day, no one knows who made that call to tell the police to stand down and let them man just turn police car over, burn the buildings, ravage the place like the feral beasts that they were.
Sometimes when something's meant to happen, it happens. I mean, if you want to just talk about that quickly, we can talk about those riots, right? That there were camera crews in Clapham Junction advertising. They didn't say they were advertising, but they said, look, there's Foot Locker and there's all these shops. There's not police in sight, and we don't understand the shortage of police, but there's all these goods. I mean, how much young people watching live TV in that locale were going to be able to stay in their house?
I saw that as well.
You were telling them to go and teach and stuff. You were begging them to come out of their house. It was a setup.
It was hard. They were bamboozled. They were running amok. So tell me about the letter that actually it's on the internet now that is talking about how they were going to 2014.
So that building was earmarked, that same Grenfell Tower
And the
was
cladding,
earmarked,
the plastic cladding,
the cladding one.
for £2 more, you know.
That cladding one, the one that was where a wick was placed on it, that they call cladding, yeah.
Wicker, yeah.
Wick.
Oh, you mean the wick for
wick.
when you light it?
Right,
yeah,
right. For the wicker religion.
And the gas, and the gas outside.
Right.
Yeah.
That one was earmarked for demolition. And you know something that's sweet about that building? That building was burning for about 2-3 days. In fact, we only went there this week and we still saw smoke coming out of it. And you know what? It never collapsed. Isn't that interesting? But building, 2 buildings built to federal standard and design and specification. Not a pissy ass, excuse my language, but not a moderate council building materials, but a
to withstand the
federal,
airplane and earthquake.
Yeah,
and they collapsed.
But this building could burn for 2-3 days. That building didn't burn. That building, if it started to burn at Fajr, it was down before Zohar. If it burned from 9 o'clock in the morning, by Zohar time, it was no more. The buildings, the Twin Towers. But the Grenfell Towers, not only the Grenfell Towers, as I said to you, basic standard council building material, not built to federal standards. It's still standing. And we went there just 2 days ago, the day before yesterday, which is like a week later, and there's still smoke coming out of the building. And there's no question of it coming down. So I'm going to leave you with that. Think on that.
And what about...
we ain't got all the answers to the conspiracy, but we're just saying employ your critical thinking, because the corporate mainstream media is a pig swill.
But don't you think it also happened to come at the time when Theresa May got mashed up in the election? She started to side with terrorists, the DUP. The headline was on her. She's on the Brexit thing, getting mashed up over Brexit. All of a sudden now the Tower thing kick off, and as we talked about earlier, more Muslims have died in that than so-called have been killed by terrorist attack. Imagine that. I mean, if you think of the non-Muslims who've died in terrorist attack, it doesn't come to the same number as the Muslims who have died, have been sacrificed in that Tower and Inferno. And then all of a sudden this madman now, so-called this white terrorist, who they call him a lone wolf, drove into some Muslims in Finsbury Park. There was an attack yesterday.
After Salah.
There was one in Birmingham yesterday, and the Romanian man get catch. Drove a van into some Muslims. That's they didn't report that on the news. And yesterday as well, a man in drove into Regent's Park Mosque, tried to run people over again, and he was caught. And again, that's not reached the news. So what do you think? How do you link anything in with this? People might say it's the Illuminati. They might say that it's the Bilderbergers, the Rothschilds.
Those terms are too loaded. So I resist those terms. And I would use more terms that are more akin to like common speech in politics, to say, when you say like elites, corporate elites, when you use this type of terminology, we know that they are corporations and they're elite because, the golden rule is you as the gold rules. So the corporations have destroyed democracy years ago. They buy out the politicians.
There is no democracy anymore.
There is no democracy.
It's a farce.
It's gone. It's over.